All right. Let's see if this is what we want. I think we're good. Yeah. Okay. So this is a video to help you understand the Module 6 assignment. It's updated to 2019. The other video is okay, but I just wanted to streamline it, make it more clear. So let's get into it. So how do you choose a topic and how do you choose a message? Those are the first two things you need to do for this paper. So for the topic, something you're passionate about, it really doesn't matter what it is. If it's a sport, it's an activity, it's a book, anything, a movie. I mean, it doesn't matter. Okay, TV show. And don't worry about connecting it to a piece of literature. That's what we did in the past, but that's not part of the assignment anymore. Then you have to choose a message. It could be anything, okay? As long as it's something that you can try and convince someone of. It's not just a fact, right? And it's something that could be convincing. So for example, if my topic was surfing, you could say surfing is the greatest sport in the world. You could say surfing should be considered a sport. You could say surfing should be an Olympic sport. You could give some advice about surfing. The key to surfing is to practice, or I don't know. I don't surf. You could argue that surfing is not a sport; it's a way of life. I mean, right? Surfing's for everyone. It is a huge range of options you have. So just pick something that you're trying to convince someone of. And then once you choose your topic, then you can choose your genre pieces. And you have if you go to the assignment, there's a list of a bunch of different genres you can choose. Choose one from each quadrant. Oops. Shrink that a little bit. There we go. Whatever you choose, you need to create it. So that's really important. Don't just take it from the internet. If it's a picture, take the picture. There we go. If it's a drawing, draw it yourself. Whatever it is, you have to create it, right? If it's a recipe, write the recipe, or at least modify it, or at least add to it, or at least, if you choose, I already said that, if you choose picture, take a picture. Whatever you create should clearly get your message across. Okay, so you got to think about which genre is going to work best for that. Do whatever you need to do to your genre piece to be sure that it is clear exactly what message you're trying to get across. So if you draw a picture and I have no idea how that connects to your message, that's a problem, right? Like, it needs to be very clear. If you need to write the message across the picture, do that, right? You may not need to for everything, but you may need to just make your message as part of it, right? Now, like, your message shouldn't just be the tweet. There should be more to it than that, right? Choose the genre with specific audience in mind. Your genre should specifically speak to your target audience. So don't choose a tweet for old people. That doesn't make sense. And speaking of that, let's talk about choosing your audience. Choose a different audience for each genre piece. And they really need to be specific, okay? And it shouldn't be like Marina High School boys, Marina High School girls, Marina High School freshmen, Marina High School sophomore. Like, it needs to be different enough, right? You're trying to reach different audiences. So if I'm going with a surfer thing, your audiences could be, for example, hardcore surfers, new surfers, people who have never tried surfing, people who would never want to surf, but you're trying to reach them. Marina High School students looking for a sport. Try to convince them to surf for their sport. Males, it can be as specific as you want. Males between 35 and 55 who are going through a midlife crisis. That's a pretty specific audience, right? That you could try to reach. People who can't swim, adventure seeker, like, you name it. And then make sure that audience fits your genre piece. Okay. Then when you go to create your genre piece, again, choose one from each quadrant. Be sure to follow the conventions of the genre. So for example, if it's a haiku, your first line needs to be 5 syllables, your second line needs to be 7 syllables, your third line needs to be 5 syllables. And we went over this in class. You're supposed to take notes on it. If you have questions about it, just let me know if you weren't in class or didn't take notes or whatever. But just make sure if it's a tweet, like, take a screenshot of a tweet, right? It should be an actual tweet. Your grade is going to be reflected through, one, how well you follow the conventions of the genre. So again, is the poem sound poetic? The quality of it, it doesn't have to be great. Like if it's poetry, subjective, but I should read and go, oh, okay, that's a poem. Like that's not bad, right? If it's roses are red, violets are blue, we have a problem, right? That's not going to be good quality. And perceived effort is just, like if you're doing a drawing, are you just slapping it together? Does it look like stick figures that you just did, or is there a lot of, it feels like there's a lot of thought put into it, right? That kind of thing. How well did the genre piece clearly illustrate the message? So that's really important. Does your message come across, right, in the genre piece? All those things, that's how your genre piece will be graded. Then we get to the letter. There's 3 parts to it, 6 paragraphs. One paragraph is the intro, and you just explain the topic. What is it? How'd you get into it? Why are you passionate about it? Explain the message you're trying to get across. Why do you want to get that message across? What genres will you use to get that message across? Then you write 4 body paragraphs, one for each genre piece that explain. Each one will explain each genre piece. So there's one body paragraph for each genre piece. And you explain, and this is where most of your points come from, you explain how that genre piece is, how the genre and what you wrote and the words you wrote and the content of that genre piece, how that's going to get to that specific audience better than any other audience. Explain how the visuals, the words you created will reach the target audience, right? And the genre itself, like why choose that genre? So there's 2 things you need to make sure you cover in as much detail as possible. That's where a lot of your points come from. Then the last thing is concluding paragraph. It's a reflection piece. What did you think about writing in these new genres? Maybe that you've done before, haven't done before. Did you like it? Was it, as long as you're thoughtful and reflective, you'll be fine in this section. And then what did you get out of it? What did you learn from trying to match genres with audiences? The draft that we have due on Monday, at Monday, February 11th, 11:59 p.m. You need 2 genre pieces, and one of them needs to be longer. Don't forget that. You come in with like a tweet and Instagram post, you're getting like half credit at best, probably less. Like that, you could have done that 2 seconds, right? Like you needs to show that you actually put some effort into it. Plus, you need 2 paragraphs anyway, so you need 2 body paragraphs. These are the 2 body paragraphs of your 6-paragraph letter. And each body paragraph will explain how you used the words and the genre itself to reach that audience. Be specific. Like explain to me, like why is this genre piece and what you wrote, how is it going to be convincing to that audience? That's the whole point. You're trying to show that you can write to a specific audience, right? I will show you examples. We'll look at that on Tuesday in class. So you'll see, but for now, just do the best you can there. I think I've actually posted on modules some examples. So you want to look at them ahead of time, you certainly can. And then final draft is due a week later. And for that one, you have the 4 genre pieces plus the 6-paragraph letter, which includes intro, 4 body paragraphs, and conclusion. I hope this kind of clarifies or, makes it easier to understand because it's a little bit confusing. But if you have any questions, just email. All right. Hope that was helpful. Thanks.